Whilst all the pre-round hype focuses firmly on the regular stable of Shannons Nationals categories, it could perhaps be the Formula Vs that trump them all. Oran Park is the final round of the season for the Vs, and one solitary point is all that separates defending champ Adam Proctor from newly crowned national champ Ben Porter. The cost-effective, competitive racing of the Vs has lured a sponsor for this weekend in the form of earth-moving equipment distributor Shannons, and the championship hopefuls will be looking to put on a show in a truly make-or-break round of racing.
This is quite a good venue for me because I actually work here as an advanced driver trainer for Ian Luff Motivation Australia, and it's fantastic because I've probably done more miles around this circuit than anyone else. So in that respect, I think I've got a foot ahead of everyone else. There can be quite a few hairy parts. Look, obviously the run down into turn one off the start through the kink can be quite fast. Especially getting a little bit of drafting and a few passing manoeuvres going on there. That can be quite exciting. And there's the whole circuit. There's not really a lot of time for breathing. You're working hard the entire lap.
Currently only 1 point ahead of Ben is Adam Proctor, who faces a mammoth task to defend his lead.
Yeah, it's pretty close between me and Ben, so yeah, hopefully we can have a good weekend and take out the championship again. It's a really good thing for us to get out here and race on these big events, and these are national level events, and good to have all the interstate competition, and it's really tough, so it's really enjoyable.
This weekend it's make or break time for Adam, and he knows it.
I just got to beat him. There's the points gap between each position is a couple of points, so whoever wins or whoever beats each other is going to win the series. The racing's very close, being a very tightly controlled category, run the same spec engine, gearbox and tyres, which really comes down to the chassis and the drivers, so it makes the racing really close, and I think even in qualifying then the top 10 were only within a second of each other, so it shows how close it is.
Big thanks to Shannons for their support of the Formula V National Series here at Oran Park Raceway. It is race number 1 for the weekend, an enormous field. They're absolutely chock-a-block on the grid. Ray Folletti joins me in commentary. He's out there racing, but has the weekend off to gather funds together for Bathurst. So a big time coming up. Ray, let's get going, mate. Welcome to the coverage.
Right, thanks very much for having us here, Wade. Great field of 33 cars, quality drivers. We've got 33 of them as well, fortunately. And thanks to Oran Park Motorsport and Shannons Insurance for having us here.
Well, look at this. These cars are going to be very loose, very squirrely on the first lap as they warm up these tyres. 2 categories within the championship, 1594 and a 1200cc category as well.
That's right. 1600s, that's what we call them. They've been around for about 6 or 7 years now in Australia, and they've got the overwhelming numbers of this field, but we've got a few good 1200s led by Dylan Thomas and Luke Warner and the old man of Formula V motor racing, Bob Pearce.
Geez, look at this field. They're absolutely enormous. This, of course, a worldwide category. We've got a car around the 10 car. Didn't take long for us to lose Scott Andrew, the Rapier Race Cars entry. A Rapier chassis, and a lot of self-built stuff out there by the looks of things.
Well,
Ray.
most of those cars are actually built by the drivers in their own garage from kits supplied by manufacturers like Jaser, Polar, Rapier, the car that you just saw Scott Andrews sliding.
Oh, Ryan. Up the inside comes Ryan Simpson, the number 1 plate holder, the Parramatta Smash Repair sponsor driver. Gee, the danger of jumping a wheel is obvious, isn't it? No, look at that.
That's right. You certainly don't want to touch wheels in this class. I've touched wheels and I've been up and over, and it's not a lot of fun.
No, I can imagine you're right. Kinsella really pushing now. Moving out of the draft if he can. Very narrow tyres. Let's have a look at Simpson's pass up the inside here. Pretty clean move.
That's right. Ryan's obviously on a charge. He doesn't want to get too far behind Ben Porter. Ben's in the white checkmate. That's only the 4th race meeting for this car. It's a superbly built racing car built by Kelfab Engineering in Sydney, and it's only his 4th race meeting, as I said, and yet he's leading this national championship, he's just behind Adam Porter by 1 point, and only a few weeks away walked away with the national titles up from Queensland.
So he's got a bit of talent, that's for sure. The Trist Restaurant Canberra-backed checkmate car. This is an exciting category for so many reasons. A, the competition is just so even, but B, you cannot afford to get loose. If you get the car sideways at all, there is the number 18, Shannons entry, which is great for them, for Adam Proctor's sponsor, to come on board for this particular round. Look at that, narrow tyres. You get sideways, you're going to scrub off a lot of speed and time.
No, that's exactly right. They're only running about 64 horsepower at the back wheels peak. That's about the most powerful of all the cars. And you certainly can't afford to slide the car too much, especially at that corner. That's the most important corner on the racetrack. If you lose it there, you could easily lose several seconds by the time you get to the end of the straight.
Now, Formula V racing is massive in Europe as well as here in Australia.
It's doing very well in England, particularly at the moment. They're getting quite larger fields with a lot of new cars. In Germany, they actually run slicks and wings over there, and I think they've even moved on to VW Polo engines, but they run them in South Africa and New Zealand and the US and in Canada and in Norway and several other countries.
It's a worldwide phenomenon, this category, because A, it's a cost-effective way of going racing, and B, well, you just look at the fields. Absolutely enormous. Gee, the 67 car's a magnificent piece of work too. I'm just noticing it just then. Mark McHenry, the Polar Race Cars entry. So we ride again with Kinsella. Just dropped the right